Once upon a time, there was a little girl named Karen. She was pretty and delicate, but oh so poor. In the summer, she had to run around barefoot, and in the winter, she wore big, clunky wooden shoes that made her little feet all red and sore. In her village lived an old shoemaker's wife. Seeing poor Karen, she decided to make her a pair of shoes from old scraps of red cloth. They weren't fancy, just a bit clumsy, but they were made with a kind heart. Karen got the shoes and wore them for the very first time on the day of her mother's funeral. Now, red shoes weren't exactly mourning attire, but they were all she had. As she walked behind the simple coffin, a large grand carriage pulled up. Inside sat a kind old lady who felt sorry for the little girl. She offered to take Karen in and care for her. Karen thought this wonderful turn of events was all thanks to her red shoes, but the old lady found them hideous and had them burned. Karen was given clean clothes, taught to read and sew, and everyone said she was pretty. But when she looked in the mirror, it seemed to tell her something more. You are beautiful. One day, the queen and her daughter, the princess, were visiting. Everyone, including Karen, flocked to the castle to see them. The princess stood at the window, dressed in white, letting everyone admire her. She didn't have a crown, but on her feet were the most beautiful red Morocco leather shoes. They were a world away from the ones the shoemaker's wife had made. Karen thought there was nothing in the world as lovely as red shoes. Soon it was time for Karen's confirmation. She got new clothes and, of course, needed new shoes. The town's best shoemaker measured her foot in his shop, surrounded by glass cases filled with elegant shoes. Among them was a pair of shiny red leather shoes, just like the princess's. They were stunning. The shoemaker explained they were made for a count's daughter, but didn't fit. Karen tried them on, and they fit her perfectly. They were bought. The old lady, whose eyesight wasn't great, didn't realize they were red. She would never have let Karen be confirmed in red shoes. At the church, everyone stared at her feet. Karen felt like even the old statues on the tombs were looking at her red shoes. That's all she could think about. Even when the clergyman spoke of her covenant with God, the organ played, the choir sang, but Karen's mind was filled with her red shoes. Afterward, the old lady heard from everyone about the scandalous red shoes. She was horrified and told Karen she must only wear black shoes to church from then on. But the next Sunday, Karen looked at the black shoes, then at the red ones, and she put on the red ones on their way to church. An old soldier with a long reddish beard bowed and asked to wipe the old lady's shoes. Then he saw Karen's feet. "My, what pretty dancing shoes," he said. "Sit fast when you dance," he told the shoes, tapping their soles. Inside the church, it happened again. All eyes were on her red shoes. As she took communion, she thought she saw the shoes swimming in the golden goblet. After the service, as Karen was about to step into the carriage, the old soldier reappeared. "My, what pretty dancing shoes," he said again. Karen couldn't stop herself. She took a few dance steps, and then her legs just kept going. It was as if the shoes had taken control. She danced around the church, down the street, and out of the town gates into a dark wood. She danced and danced, unable to stop. She saw a light between the trees. It was the old soldier, nodding. "My, what pretty dancing shoes!" He chuckled. Terrified, she tried to pull the shoes off, but they had grown fast to her feet. She danced day and night over fields and thorns, tearing her skin. At night, it was terrifying. She danced past an open churchyard and saw an angel in white robes holding a shining sword. "Dance you shall," he commanded, "in your red shoes until you are pale and cold. Dance from door to door, and where proud children live, you shall knock to fill them with fear. Dance you shall, mercy." Karen cried, but the shoes carried her away. One morning, she danced past a house she knew. A coffin was being carried out. It was the kind old lady. Karen knew then that she was utterly alone, cursed by the angel. She danced on until she came to the house of the town executioner. She tapped on his window. "Come out." "I cannot come in, for I must dance." "Don't cut off my head," she pleaded, "or I can't repent. But please cut off my feet in these red shoes." She confessed her sins, and the executioner swung his axe. The shoes, with her feet still inside them, danced away into the forest. He made her wooden feet and crutches and taught her a hymn for sinners. She thought her suffering was over and tried to go to church, but as she approached, the red shoes danced before her, barring the way. Heartbroken, she found work at the local parsonage. She was quiet and hardworking. The pastor's family grew to love her. One Sunday, they asked if she would come to church. With tears in her eyes, she looked at her crutches and stayed behind. Alone in her little room, she read her hymn book. As the sound of the organ drifted from the church, she prayed, "Oh God, help me." Just then, the sun shone brightly, and the angel appeared before her. He no longer held a sword, but a green branch full of roses. He touched the ceiling, and it rose high, a golden star shining where he touched. The walls opened, and she saw the church all around her. It was as if the church had come to her. She was sitting in a pew with the pastor's family. They smiled and said, "It was right of you to come, Karen." "It was mercy," she whispered. As the choir sang, the warm sunlight filled her heart with so much peace and joy that it broke. Her soul flew on a sunbeam to heaven, where no one ever asked about the red shoes.